Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dakar. This is the FIBA Women's Afrobasket 2019, and it's quarterfinals day. We're starting things off with Nigeria against the Democratic Republic of Congo. Well, the Nigerians are here and on a mission. They are looking to go to the top of the podium for the second consecutive time. And right now they face a hurdle of Congolese players that, quite frankly, we were surprised by how well they played in their qualification for the quarterfinal. Anyway, this is the lineup for today. Following this one, it'll be Mozambique against Egypt, Mali against Cote d'Ivoire, and then tonight Senegal and their drum-beating, dancing fans will be taking on Angola. Well, I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Zania Watson. And Zania, it's a very good Nigeria team, and we fully expect them at bare minimum to be one of the top 6 teams to go through to the Olympic qualifiers. But they have their sights set on something much greater.
Yeah, you know, they're really going for the back-to-back championship, but also, like you said, they're looking to push this tournament. It's not just what, you know, their finish line. They're looking to really make a standing in the Olympic Games. So by far the best team, putting up 106 points. Their last game was incredible. They have some great depth on their bench, so I think they're going to look real strong today. For Congo, some good moments yesterday. I definitely think they improved, beating Cape Verde by 78 to 46. Some great post play, and they're looking to, you know, make a big push here. They were very loose in their warm-up, playing what we call in England a ring of roses. Not sure what you call it around the world, but very loose.
They were having a good time, and maybe that's a great sign for them as they go up against this Nigeria team that
you just stay relaxed, no stress.
Yeah, you're not going to help yourself. I mean, your coach in the GB team, Chima Buteta, was a big proponent of staying loose and relaxed, and that was definitely the approach of the Congolese in their warm-up. Meanwhile, Nigeria, they're together at midcourt as well, and now we're going to have a pause in the commentary for the playing of the national anthem.
Nigeria. les arbitres. Arthur Bandera, Mozambique. Racing Arabia.
Well, it's a big day for Nigeria, having been so impressive in their last game against Cameroon. Now they're ready to come out and try to underline their superiority, put an exclamation mark on their performances as Coach Hewley goes over to shake hands with the opposition. And we'll get a look at the referees as well. Coach Kimba of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The referees lining up in big court there. Bandera Artur, Arbia Belgit, and Eric Otieno from Mozambique, Tunisia, and also Kenya. Tanzania has been unearthing some gems with all of her conversations with the referees. It's always interesting to see a player or a former player really go hard at the referees. She really challenges them on a daily basis.
Well, we've been fortunate enough to sometimes ride home with them back to the hotel, so I always have lots of different questions. Yeah, I was a player of the game, but it's also nice to hear their perspective and their rules that they put down. So it's been very interesting, but overall, pretty good job from the referees. They'll get better, you know, and they make mistakes. They're human. We make mistakes. Players make mistakes. So it's a good learning curve throughout the tournament to get better.
Yes, it is indeed. And we'll have a look at the rosters of both Nigeria and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Starting with the Congo.
Yeah, Congo first. You know, they had some great minutes there. Number 10, Chanel Makongo. She had really good stats. She had a double-double for them. 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 blocks. So I really want them to establish. Also, Ngobeleze with 15 points, number 5.
And it's going to be Putila, number 4. Gobeleza, number 5. Bombolo, number 6. Bukongo, Chanel Makongo, you talked about, number 10. And Pauline Akonga, number 14. In the starting 5.
Yeah, for Nigeria across the board, Kanu had 12 points, 4 rebounds. Number 11, Elenu, really impressed with her. She is just solid throughout. But then also their bench production, Victoria Makani, number 25, their good height, 1.93. She came off the bench with 8 points production.
Okay, so it's going to be Adora Elonu, Evelyn Akator, Etonye Gengipa, Ezeni Kalu, and Ithia Bekwe. What a joy it was to talk to the Nigerian players beforehand. Nice seeing them do their warm-ups. Also nice seeing the Congolese play Ring Around the Roses. Anything to get the mind mentally prepared for a big game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They know they've got a big challenge against Nigeria here, so the only thing, you can't put any more stress on yourself. You know, you're at this point of the tournament, you've got to go to your strengths. What's working well for you? They played the zone last game, worked really well. They really struggled. I think offensively, getting, you know, easy buckets, but hopefully they've got their hands full. Yeah, totally. This is the best team in the tournament by far.
Coach Kiembe knows what is in front of him, and at bare minimum, he'll be looking to get out of this tournament with the top 6 finish. I think on the evidence of their first 2 games, for Coach Hewley here, that you would have to say that the Congo, even looking back on it now, probably a much better team than Cape Verde. The way they played against Cape Verde, we just did not expect that sort of dominance from them. And it raises the question if they can get some confidence from that game and come out and put in a performance against an African team that, I think really believe that if Nigeria put it all together, they could really challenge not only for another African title, and not only for a spot at the Olympics. I think they could really aim high and go far at the Olympics, maybe even to the podium.
Well, also on the Congo side, they did come 9th place in 2017 in the last Afrobasket, sorry. So for them right now, they are pushing to do better than that, which they're in good shape for that top 6 they're playing for. So I think it might not go their way, but we have seen in this tournament, the Egyptians last night were wonderful. I didn't have them winning going through, but they did. So you can never say never. You have to come out here, you have to perform, you have to play. Everyone ties their shoes the same way.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought I saw you doing it a little bit differently than me.
Well, you could do 220s. That's your style. But at the end of the day, you have to perform. You have to perform. We've seen Angola not really come out and impose their will. Cameroon last night lose their style and lose to Egypt. So, you know, never say never, but ultimately Nigeria is the strongest team here.
Still trying to digest what I witnessed yesterday, the Egypt-Cameroon game. Egypt winning that one, coming from behind a couple times from double-digit deficits, and then trying to digest the press conference watching Cameroon. It was quite entertaining. Great questions by the journalists and wonderfully moderated. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching. We are in Dakar, Senegal, for the FIBA Women's Afrobasket. It's quarterfinals day, and we've had our coffees, breakfast, and we've sat through the warm-up for both teams, and now we're off and running. Democratic Republic of Congo, the Leopards in the blue, attacking the basket to the right, and they start off with a nice jump shot.
Yeah, good start for them. Also, Nigeria, early turnover in the first few seconds, so they need to get going. They can't have a slow start. Congo's start in this zone was successful for them yesterday versus Cape Verde, and they do that again today and get the rebound. So they're sticking with their game plan, what worked for them well.
Yengifa misses from deep. I love saying Yengifa. Ball goes out of bounds. It was quite an amusing conversation with her before the game, talking about the pronunciation of her game. There is Kalu chasing the ball, and this was Futila, who has been arguably their best player at this competition, either she or Chanel Makongo.
Yeah, both posts playing really good minutes.
So Nigeria going up against the zone, and they feed it to the baseline, and Dora says, no problem, I got this.
That's her strength there. She is a great mid-range shooter. You know, obviously Nigeria, as they press, as they trap, get the jump ball, obviously they would have scouted last night's game and saw that they sat in that zone for 40 minutes. So they would have discussed that. They would have put in plays against the zone. And right there you see them overload and Elenu get an easy jump shot.
And the question now has to be asked, because Nigeria just asked it, can you solve our pressure? And this is the big question. We know the Congo can get out and rebound. What we don't know is, are they going to be able to solve the pressure as easily as they did yesterday against Cape Verde? Because Nigeria, a different prospect when they've got their hands up and they're running all over the place.
Yeah, they're way more.
Wow. Coutillo banking in the jumper.
Nigeria is very athletic. We saw them press the whole game versus Tunisia earlier on in the tournament. So they have it in their legs.
And here we see the long arms of Congo coming up with a steal. And Hewley already barking at the referee. And attacking the rim down low. Futila battles for the ball, goes out of bounds. And I think this Leopards team, the players, have heard the whispers, see the bank shot. They've heard people talking about how Nigeria are unbeatable at this tournament. And you can see the emotion from Futila. She wants to come out and prove a point today.
Yeah, it's very difficult when the bullseye is on your back, Jeff. You know, you are the best, you are supposed to perform, and you don't want to let any, complacency, I would say. For Nigeria, they are ultimately the best team here, but you have to perform and step up to being the best every night. No days off, Jeff.
No, just like for the commentators, you've got to get up, get to breakfast, go for the morning run, morning swim in the Atlantic.
And we're ready.
And be at the arena 2 hours before.
That we are, Jeff. That we are. But I'm here ready for some great basketball today. There will be some great games starting with this.
What about that bounce pass from Pauline of Congo?
Yeah, just a little bit difficult to catch that. It's really low, especially for a post player. I sure would find that very difficult to catch.
Here she is again, same spot, different result. Elonu misses the jumper. And Ifia Bekwe helps up Pauline Akonga.
Unfortunately, Elonu misses that shot, but she's going to get that all night. So she has to take that shot, put pressure on Congo to defend in the zone.
There's Elonu on the baseline.
Just going baseline to baseline, isn't she? But that's what Congo's forcing Nigeria to have to make.
Oh, good hands by Yengifa. And now driving and scoring is Azina Kalu. Wow, she's been electric at this Afrobasket.
Yeah, I do like Kalu's effort. She slices, dashes, gets into the paint. She's a very good player. See her light up through this game, no doubt.
So her college basketball, Savannah State. Look at this. Ifia Bekwe putting the pressure. And now she reaches in and takes it away.
Wow.
And look at that. It's only Nigerians, the Tigress. And Kalu lays it up and in. And Akonga has to do a better job of protecting the basketball. Now Nigeria, quick hands and forcing a jump ball situation. And Nigeria will have it. And you wonder if Coach Gembe is thinking about getting a timeout. He leans over to pick up his board. Look at this. You're not going to beat this Nigeria team with the dribble, and you better be careful with your passes. You better be ready to break the press because they're going to come out and get you.
Yeah, they're so long. They're always getting in the passing lanes, getting tips. That is really where they get a lot of production from. Wow, look at that rebound.
Yengifa with the rebound, but misses the putback. Now the outlet pass. And Ngobeleza has it. Hands it off to Bumbalo, but then turn the ball right back over to Nigeria. What was the call? She stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, the back of her heel just went out of bounds there. Unfortunate for them.
Yengifa has it right in front of the Congo bench, gives it to Bekwe, bounce pass to Akator. Kalu from the left. And now
good job for Chanel there. She was trapped in the rebound. Good job. Good composure from her.
driving baseline, throwing it right into the hands of Eveline Akator, who is quite versatile. She pushes it up the floor, hands it to Zina Kalu.
Yeah, see, I told you, Kalu, once she sees the ball go through the net, she will just keep putting on the pressure.
And Akonga fouled by Nigeria. And it really does become a case of how do you solve Nigeria pressure?
Yeah, I think Congo needs to do a better job setting an offensive play up. They need good screens, they need movement. You have to move Nigeria. You can't just let them, you know, sit and wait for the pass because they're so athletic. You have to run a play.
And was that a hand on the back? Foul called on Akator. So she picks up her first. Kalu also has a foul. Here's the drive, and it's Chanel Makongo laying it up and in. I know perhaps a scent, a perfume she could endorse one day. But she certainly has sweet play. And now a drive and a foul. So Nigeria attacking the basket.
Yeah, Chanel Makongo played really great minutes.
Ooh. That was...
Here's her move. Nice, composed post move.
She
played
college basketball in Mississippi, didn't she?
Mississippi State.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. That was one of the words that we had to learn growing up
Yeah.
in the state, along with Czechoslovakia, which is no more. Czech Republic and the Slovak Republic. Nice shot from Akator. Ngobeleza goes to her right, gets inside. In a great position there. Nigeria saving in bounds. Ifeabekwe passes it over to Elonu. Second time she's hit a shot from that area. And great hands from Yengipa.
The turnover there from Congo. As soon as Nigeria scores, they are pressing, turning right back around, putting the pressure on Congo to get the ball over the half. And there they succeed. They get the ball back, and here's a three. Unfortunately, air ball, but here they are, back again, pressuring Congo.
The quick hands, Yengipa were up, and now it leads to another break, and it's Azina Kalu, and she is fouled while going up for the layup. And that foul was on number 9, excuse me, Teba.
Congo wants to talk about it. Nigeria's really putting the pressure on both ends. They take a timeout here.
So Mambenya Teba commits the foul, and it leads to a timeout. Worrying start here for this Congolese team.
Like our sound's gone in the timeouts now, Jeff. We can't hear as well as we did earlier on, but 8 turnovers for Congo and 10 points in the paint for Nigeria. So 8 turnovers in the first, 6 minutes. That's a lot. Here we see Kalu, 8 points. She is really lighting it up. I did say once she sees the ball go in the basket, one time she is a super athlete, great finisher, and she definitely got the green light for Nigeria.
I think she's taken a step forward from last year to this year from the World Cup. I guess you could argue that the competition might be a little bit better at the World Cup, though, remembering that Nigeria played USA.
That's always a tough game.
That is a tough game.
So she's definitely worked on her game.
Oh, that's a backcourt violation. Already 16 seconds on the shot clock. They didn't get it across. Look at that. There's 10 seconds on the shot clock. Never got close to getting it across.
Yeah, referee's a little late on it. Did they have their coffee this morning? I'm not sure, Jeff. We are on it. But no doubt they get the call right. Nigeria gets the ball back.
Yeah, one of the challenges, I guess if you're the referee, you got to look up at that shot clock. That's the indicator if you're not counting it. Here's Akator down low. She gets swatted by Chanel Makongo.
Good job, Chanel, keeping her hands up there, not fouling.
Into the corner, Elonu. She loves that side of the court, and she hits another one.
Literally, that is all. Whoa.
Well, it's hard enough to beat this Nigeria team and to beat their defense, but when they start hitting jump shots, it becomes awfully difficult.
And the news is literally going baseline to baseline, and that's exactly what you want in a zone. You just run that baseline, overload the zone, and she is hitting that shot. Good for her.
Kalu over to Elonu. She feeds Akator. She turns to her right. And maybe the big plus for the Congo is that with those tall bodies in the paint, if they've got those hands up, the Nigerians are not getting easy looks.
Yeah, they're not, but then they're struggling to get the ball over the half and get into an offense. So
like right here, look at this.
go.
I mean, she barely got it across, and that's not going to cut it. Here we go. Inside it goes to Fatila. And here comes Nigeria running. 3-on-2, 4-on-2, in fact. Congo very slow getting back on defense. Ifeibekwe from the left, and the ball bounces over. Look at the swat from Chanel Mokongo again. Kalu drives in, and Mambenya Teba hits the ball, goes out of bounds.
Well, the zone is definitely slowing Nigeria's offense down. The best way to beat the zone is push, get out in transition, which Nigeria is good at, but Congo is doing a great job getting back, setting in their zone, making it difficult.
Well, they are in a man now. Here's Ifeibekwe. Oh, she goes right around Futila and lays it up and in. Shot clock down to 18, 17. Oh.
Here comes the trap from Nigeria.
Chanel Mokongo passes over to Congo. Pass up ahead to Ibekwe. Ibekwe over to Akator. Ilonu at the line, boy, she's having a big day. She's telling Azina Kalu, let me take over the scoring for a while.
Yeah, but that's what I said, that 15-foot shot is great for her. Here comes another turnover.
Another steal, another bounce pass. Kalu says, not so fast, Adora. I'm going to go up and get another two. And it is all Nigeria right now.
You know, they're not doing well in their half-court sets, Nigeria, against the zone, but what they are doing great, generating offenses, trapping, putting pressure on Congo. They can't even get it over the half-court, having shot clock violations and really generating and speeding them up and stealing the ball, ultimately giving them the lead, 22-6.
Écoutez-moi très bien. Vous jouez sur le côté, c'est pas ce que je vous ai demandé. Sur la ligne ici, c'est mort. Vous comprenez à côté. Et elle, vous allez là. Là, je veux voir une grande ici. Dans le awa. Dans Katikati awa. Dans le monde de Moussou awa. Bonjour, c'est le ballon. Vous passez au défense. L'autre qui vient ici, balle awa. Bon monde, on a tous ballon. Simba dans le ballon. Faites le passe au l'équipe ici ballon. Simba ballon. Donc, on a le ballon. Donc, on a eu sur place.
Now, whatever ones come up, you go ahead and pick the inbound, okay? You pass off, you get the next girl. You guys got it. If it's on this side, we do it that way. You got it.
Tell you what, when the Nigerians show up, they make a lot of noise. I remember them in Caracas, Venezuela, 2012, the men's Olympic qualifying tournament. And they came out big numbers, big community of Nigerians there, and they really created a great ambiance. They probably ranked second here only to the host, Senegal, in terms of like generating that type of atmosphere. Struggling to get the ball in bounds. Fatila.
Yeah, that was nearly 5-second violation.
Mambenya Teba is going to throw it up now. A foul from behind by Victoria McCauley, who has just checked into the game. Sarah Movio also in the game for Nigeria, as well as Promise Amukamara and Sarah Agoki. So it's only Kalu that's still out there now. The pass just a little too hard from Movio.
Congo needs to be a little bit more composed. The trap is coming. You have to get open for your team. These two players in the back, Chanel, they have to come up and help their
that's
guard.
already a violation. Look, it's 15 seconds on the shot clock. They were lucky to get it across midcourt, and it didn't matter. And here's the Goki. And it's Zena Kalu launching the three. And I think part of the issue for me is, Mbenya Teba puts it up. I noticed they were scrapping for the rebound.
Right.
And the shot clock had already started.
Oh.
So when actually, here we see Teba, or excuse me, Congo putting it up. Oh no, excuse me, that was Muganza and Yota who played so well yesterday. So by the time the Congo, and this is my observation, they get possession, it's already like 21 seconds or 20 seconds on
so
the shot
the
clock.
Referees, we need to speak to the table.
Potentially, I think it's something that needs to be pointed out. Keep an eye on that one.
Okay.
He makes the second. I suspect in this game, it might not make that much of a difference.
But that's still something.
That still is something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. Everyone's got to do their jobs here, Jeff.
Yep, absolutely. Here's Amukamara, and her job is to wheel and deal, to shake and bake. She gets it to Macaulay, who kicks it out to Agoki. And then good defense there by Congo. Look, Amukamara drives in and says, I'm going to take this. And Mosio battles for the rebound. Now Macaulay. And she is fouled.
Number 7, Sarah Gonke for Nigeria. She should be careful. She did actually physically push one of the Congo players. She's lucky to get away with that.
Mbenya Teba was harassing her, and she shoved her.
Yeah, she can't get.
Macaulay is a very gifted post player. Here she is. Look at this. She fumbled it away, but Mosio was there.
Yeah, Nigeria can't get frustrated. You know, you can't start pushing. You can't.
I don't know what you think, but there seems to be a slight drop-off in terms of the skill for the second team from Nigeria.
Yeah.
In terms of offense. Here we go. And the bounce pass, and very good. Much better from Congo. And
nice
that was
quick play
Muganza.
there. Yeah, really nice play. They need a few more of those.
And Amukamara right at the end of the quarter. So, Nigeria in command. And 22-9 is the lead. Here you go again. The shot. And a little bit of hope.
Even though Nigeria is in command, Congo is doing a great job slowing them down.
22-9, Nigeria on top after one.
Here's some first quarter stats. 50% for Nigeria, 10 from 20. Really getting it going there. Congo hasn't shot any threes yet, but you know, they're getting chances at the basket. They just have to look after the ball. They're turning over the ball. Nigeria is trapping. They're making them speed up, rush, panic, throwing over the head passes. So Nigeria is doing a good job, but you know, Congo is sticking with their guns, staying in the zone, really trying to be big, slow Nigeria down, but Nigeria is doing a wonderful job turning over Congo and getting fast break transition points. So good for them. Definitely Nigeria is in the lead here and looks the strongest. But like you said, Jeff, the bench players are now in the second part of Nigeria. And usually they do really well. They don't really drop off, but they are struggling a little bit. Hey, only the second quarter. We've got time. Nerves, if any, can be shrugged off and a new quarter can begin.
Second quarter underway here in the Dakar Arena, and Congo's trying to catch a pass there. Mambenya Teba delivering the pass to Bernadette Ingoisa, but she wasn't able to catch it. Thrown behind her. And okay. Dribbles up high. And Wadji now in the game. She's got her hands on the ball. She's really good in the opener. Didn't play as much in the second game against Cameroon.
Yeah, and Congo's gone back to a man-to-man here. Get the rebound. They switched out of their zone. They changed it up. You've got to do something against this strong Nigerian team. Ooh,
wow.
late foul.
A little bit of a late call, but good move for the Congo. And Moganza Nyota, who is a handful. She's a big body. Here we go again. Oh, yeah. Good call. It's just a little bit late. Just a little bit of a door of opportunity opening here for Congo, but
not if you don't make your shot.
Making free throws is something that they did exceptionally well yesterday.
They did. You're right. They were one of the best teams in this tournament, but today, struggling at the line, you need these points, especially when it's so hard to get there.
Kamara pushes it quickly, gets it over to Agoke, who hits the three-pointer on the break. Nigeria, here they get the turnover, and Wadji up to Macaulay, who lays it up and in.
They do a wonderful job. Once they turn them over, people getting out in the lanes. Victoria Macaulay's running well there. Here she goes back down the middle of the lane.
Turning it over, Amukamara for three. And Amofio goes in, battles for the rebound, and it goes back over to Congo, but it's 27-9. And the danger signs once again are there.
Yeah, look, here comes, gotta be careful. Nigeria's looking to trap any way they can.
Another turnover. And Benya Teba throws it out of bounds. Macaulay goes left. Holy cow, I thought she was going to dunk it. He missed the shot to get it back. And Wadji, here she is. Macaulay misses. You can see she's got a bright future, Macaulay.
Yeah,
soft
she does.
touch. Oh, beautiful bounce pass. Nice hesitation.
You got to hesitate because big Macaulay's coming over to swat that thing. So good job taking her time, being composed, and using the fake to finish. Congo still in the man here.
Nice move. Layup from Imobio.
Yeah, Mobio's doing very well for Nigeria. Slash into the basket there, getting extra rebounds. Here they go, Nigeria again.
You know, we say Macaulay has a bright future. She is 29, so she should be pretty good by now. She is. And another foul puts Congo on the line.
Yeah, she looks younger than she is, isn't she? Quite a baby face, but
Yeah,
hey.
that's quite a compliment. I'm sure she'd like hearing you say that.
I'll let her know later after the game.
It's unbelievable. I'm sure Cape Verde, if they're watching this game, are thinking, why did you decide not to make your free throws today, whereas yesterday against us, you couldn't miss?
Yeah, she made loads yesterday. She has a really nice stroke. That one, the first one, unfortunately, rimmed all the way out. But yet again, she's doing the hard work to get to the line. But like I said, you need to finish.
Another layup.
McCauley starting to warm up also. Great post moves.
And Ingo Beleza misses. Great fight for the rebound, but McCauley not able to stay in bounds. Former Temple star who's traveled the world playing basketball. Been in a lot of far-flung places and also in Western Europe, including France and Poland. Also WNBA back home in America.
Woo!
How about that?
Nice hit. They needed that three.
McCauley, didn't get it up, and it's another break, and that is just unforgivable. That is a wide open, fast break layup waiting to happen, and you throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, they have to do a better job capitalizing on that, especially when McCauley short past that pass to her post player. She just needs to lead the ball to the basket. You can't be short on that. Only your player can catch it or it's out of bounds.
It was Ingo Beleza that was charged with the turnover, but really it was the pass by Muganza that was too difficult to hold. And now Nigeria's score again down low, and they're just basically cruising, pulling away. And then Waji forces a little bit of pressure on the inbound pass. Another turnover, and this is getting out of hand now for Congo. They trail by 18 points.
Yeah, Nigeria is definitely smelling blood. They are all over the defensive side of things.
Waji, go! And that's what we saw her do on opening day.
Yeah, she's got a lovely shot. She really takes her time, sets her feet. Really good job from her off the bench.
Pass to Frutilla. And she scores. Can't trade baskets, though. They got to get stops.
Maybe think about going back into the zone, man to man. It's just not working for them.
McCauley saw shot. Yeah, she gets the shooter's roll. And Waji leaning over, committing the foul. Look at this.
Wow, she's got definitely a full range of different moves in her pocket. The jump shot, the post move. Really good job from McCauley off the bench. That I told you before the game. She is one to watch.
Muhammad checks in, number 9. Ooh, might have been an extra step there by Muganza and Yota. And now fouled is Bernadette Ngoisa. 21 points, the lead for Nigeria. Still got 5 minutes remaining here in the first half, and it was Nwaji who picked up a second quick one.
Jeff, my statistician, how many free throws has Congo had, please?
Well, this one is much better from Bernadette Ngoisa. Fun you should ask. I've been keeping a running tally, and 3 of 7.
3 of 7?
Yep.
3 of 8?
Now they're 3 of 9, in fact, after the 1 of 2 effort.
Yes, that's an extra 6 points they're leaving out there.
Mukamura foul off the ball. In fact, I think it's 3 of 8 at the line. Anyway, 3 of 8, 3 of 9. Here's a Mukamura.
McCauley comes out here, really wonderful minutes from her. She should be impressed with herself. Good start for her.
Well, Coach Hewley having words with it, just making sure they're on the same page. Okay, misses from the left corner, and Ngoisa comes up with the rebound. Edefuroka in for Nigeria now, gets a hand up in the face, and Ngoisa with the offensive rebound and putback. Oh, and Waji kind of lost the ball as it was going up.
Yeah, just slipped out of her hands.
Mukamura, goes through the hands of Muhammad.
I did shoot the ball yesterday, Jeff, in my spare time, and it did feel really bouncy, that ball. Just saying.
I did see.
When it's a brand new ball, I don't like a brand new ball. I like for it to be.
I did see an air ball
bit.
on your first attempt.
Oh my God, did you see that?
But I was like, that's not a zany.
No, that is not a zany. I have a perfect excuse for it. Do you know why? I have nails now. I'm a lady. I'm not a basketballer. So it came off my nails and I shut it like I normally do, and it was an air ball. I don't think I've done many of those in my life.
Well, I don't have that excuse when I shoot air balls.
Well, like I said, it's been a fair few months. November was the last time I shot the ball, so.
That ball went off the hands of Sephora Kayolo, and I don't think she has an excuse. Maybe it passes a little bit high.
Yeah, I'm not really one for excuses, to tell you the truth, but I am going to blame my longer nails now.
Perhaps appropriate to have such claws while commentating a game between the Tigress and the Leopards.
Ooh, good analogy.
Edefuroka, she has it. Inside to Muhammad. Passes it back outside. Pump fake. Ogoki. Ngoisa with the rebound. If they can get some misses, then they don't have to face the press.
I do see the referee there on the baseline clapping at Mohammed to please get out of the paint. I will call you 3 seconds, so she needs to be careful.
Kalanga. And traveling was the call. It's past midday. That means it's pretzel time.
Snack time.
Yeah, feeling it. I've already had a banana. It's not working, so I got to get some more.
And I gave you some of my orange, too.
I know, something's not right here. And Waji from just inside the arc. And Ngoisa gives her a dirty look.
She grabs her shorts. And Nigeria's not pressing as much here. Maybe the trap might come, but nope. So Congo needs to take full advantage.
Another foul called in Nigeria. So really using this moment here to get some instructions to his team.
Yeah, he does
A fair amount of coaching.
yeah, fair amount of coaching. There's a sub 3 guards, fresh legs right here. Yeah. You got to be careful of that. Kalu coming back into the game. We know she is a fast, speedy one. So he's definitely sub using his bench, which he has full advantage of because 1 through 12 are wonderful players.
Steelers calling the play. Look at him. Constantly talking either to his players, to the referees, or to his bench. That's his style. Yengifa, meanwhile, checks back into the game, number 21. Edefuroka gets it out to Ezine Kalu. Good strength. She launches a 3. Ifia Bekwe. Edefuroka tries to save it in bounds, but does not.
Kalu did a good job getting the ball on the rim. Shot clock running down there. Gives her team a chance, as you see here by the replay. And just 2 players fight for the ball.
Oh, the third over the defense that time had a chance for a layup, but then Ifia Bekwe ties up Kalanga. It looked like Congo could have gone towards the basket.
Yeah,
Deba, Alliance Deba.
I feel like the ball's quite slippy. A lot of players catching and mishandling the ball. Maybe they could wipe that off later on.
Bekwe in the paint, over to Adeparoka. Good hustle by Deba. I think Kayolo can help him if she gets some touches, but she's not getting any.
Yeah, Congo's not setting an offense right now. One-on-one is never going to work versus Nigeria.
Yengifa, tough rebound.
Kalu slows things down, sets a play. They have to go quickly. Only 5 on the clock.
Bekwe. Kalu with the rebound. Kalu. Now the dump to Ngoisa. And she puts it up and in. 38-23, so it's back to 15 points to deficit.
Hey, Jeff, I see you dancing over there.
Can't help it. I hear the drums. I got to move. I got to shake a leg.
And we are in competition for our total steps on our iWatches, so I need to get dancing too. I'll join you.
Okay. Oh, look at the D. Oh. Looked like Kalanga had done a fairly decent job there. Or Kayolo, Sephora Kayolo. Yengifa on the baseline.
Gets her own rebound. Congo need to get these rebounds, giving way too many second chances to Nigeria.
Mohammed gets in the lane. Good block by Ngoisa. Yengifa gets it back. Hands it over to Kalu. And another chance. Trailing by 15 points. Here comes the Congo. And it's Celestine Bisoga who has it, number 8. And her pass, great defense by Ifia Bekwe right at the end of the quarter to prevent a shot. They would have been looking for more on that final possession. And Nigeria is, I dare say, maybe won't be content with the 15-point lead. Maybe they should have been up by more. Certainly that was the look, what I'd weaned from the face of Coach Hewley. Nigeria lead at 38-23 over Democratic Republic of Congo at halftime.
Here's some first half stats here. 43% for Nigeria from the 2. They're shooting only 2 from 11 from the 3-point line. Also 2 from 13 for Congo. The rebounds are pretty even in 6, but there's 8 skills there for Nigeria, ultimately keeping them in the game and, really executing on it. Kalu, 11 points. Elenu, 8 points, getting her baseline off the bench. Lopani doing a really, really good job. And for Congo, they keep her doing a pretty good job using her big body. Very interesting. Congo is not out of this game. They are managing to slow the offensive threat of Nigeria, who have put up 106 points this tournament. So they are slowing them down, but they're not out of the game.
Well, couldn't have said it better myself. Tanzania 38-23, Nigeria on top at halftime. We'll be right back. Diawara, though, picks right up where she left off against Egypt. Sada launches it for three. She's come out and played well today.
Yeah, nice start for her. Good job.
Reno sets the pick. Is she going to roll? Oh, what a finish that was by number 6, Obunga. It goes. Now the offensive rebound and the rejection by Rocha.
It's like a volleyball kick.
Uh-oh, Tehedi, open floor. They might have to foul her. She spins. She puts it up. She scores. And she's going to the line. She is worth the price of admission, folks.
Holy cow, Jack.
Unbelievable. 38-23, Nigeria on top of the Democratic Republic of Congo here at halftime in Dakar. This is the first of 4 quarterfinals that will be played today. Nigeria winning the title 2 years ago and looking to repeat. And maybe not quite as convincing today as they were against Cameroon in their last game, but nevertheless, still showing themselves to be very talented. And it's going to take a Herculean effort, really, for the Congo to come back and win this game. But maybe they can change things up at halftime and come out and give themselves a chance, Zania. The main thing you have to say, you got to be able to protect the ball. You got to be able to get the ball across midcourt to beat that Nigeria defense. And then you have to be able to operate against that Nigeria defense, even in the half court, which can be quite active at times. You got to be able to get the ball when you play defense against Nigeria. When they miss shots, you got to be able to corral those rebounds.
Yeah, it's true. They're also giving Nigeria way too many second opportunities at the rim. You know, they're getting, at one point, they got 3 offensive rebounds. But you're right, Nigeria, as soon as they score, they're turning around, trapping, putting a full court press on Congo, finding it very difficult to get it over half court, in some cases getting shot clock violation. And Congo need to set up, you can set up a full court press offense to help your guards out. The trap is coming, so you have to be prepared and ready. Hopefully, they talked about that at halftime. Also, Nigeria should have spoken about maybe just, you know, executing a bit better against their zone, but also Congo is actually changing it up, running a zone and a man on defense, changing it up on Nigeria.
Il y a moins de mouvement dans tout le monde. Ça va? Hein, c'est les tout postes. Vous voyez, là, on fait ça. Allez.
Just take it. No. In transition. Oh, okay. Whenever she want to call L, you guys will know what you're doing. That's why I'm showing you. Yeah, she's going to call. All right? Still middle.
Ladies, play together. Talk to each other. We got it. Here we go.
Nigeria there in their timeout.
Quintilla there.
With 11
pretty
points.
decent numbers offensively.
Yeah, she's doing really well. Really good offensive. She's sitting down, right? She's not starting.
Yeah, she's not starting, which is interesting.
Yep. Sometimes coaches do that, but Nigeria just talk about in their timeout, you know, staying together. They have lots of different plays that coaches showing different signs. And then here, Kalu with 11 points, 5 from 7, shooting 71%. And she's going to look to go aggressive to the rim again.
Second half action underway here in the Dakar Arena. It's Nigeria on top of Democratic Republic of Congo in a battle of tigers. The Tigress against Leopards, and an offensive foul called on the Congo.
I'm really surprised he never started Chanel for Congo either. So he's got a bit of depth, I guess, on the bench, waiting to sub in. Goes with a different team that he started the game with.
Now driving in, and Goisa fouls Kalu.
Frustrated there.
That's 2 quick ones on her. He was also guilty of the first one.
Oh, on the other end down here, the offensive foul.
Indeed.
Yep, you're correct, Jeff.
So she got the offensive foul, turning it over to Nigeria. Now she comes down and fouls Kalu.
It's definitely not how you would want to start the game. 2 quick fouls there. But nevertheless, guess who's back at the line? Kalu, sorry, excuse me. Doing what she does best, scoring in many different ways.
Well, the dump down low, and that's a pretty good strategy, but you got to make the layup if you're Betty Kalanga. That's almost unforgivable when you're trailing, especially like they are. And then Akator goes down and hits the jump shot.
Yeah, Akito's been a little quiet this game, but definitely asserting herself here. Lovely jump shot. Full court pass.
Much better from Alliance Diva.
Yeah, that's how you break the press. You know, it is a risky pass because Nigeria is so long and lean, but that over-the-head quick pass is sometimes how you can beat the press of Nigeria.
Kalu pulls up, nobody on her, and only blue shirts there for the rebound. Basoga, point guard of choice here at the start of the second half. Ngoising, wow, goes off her hands and out of back, or into the hands of Nigeria, and then Nigeria not able to save it, so it goes back. If they can beat the press and beat the low post while beating the press, that's probably their best offense.
Yeah, that's a disappointing pass from Akito there. As you see her shooting the ball well here, but they don't need that quick, long outlet pass to turn it over. In that case, just look after the ball, get a good possession here. They put on the press. Now Congo subs back in. Goes on. But yet again, Nigeria turns Congo over, Jeff. This is not going to help them get back into this game if they keep turning the ball over.
Well, Nigeria again on the attack. Ifeabekwe, Yengifa, and Akator. Again, the turnover. Here comes Ilonu. Sizes up her options, and she went amongst the trees and was blocked and fouled, I think, by Chanel Makongo. Timeout as substitution is made. So going out is Ndiba. Patilla comes back into the game. And another turnover for the Congo, and it's just not going well at all in the last minute for the Congo. This is on the drive. Now a chance to run for Congo. Payolo passes it over to her teammate Makongo. Basoga, and Ilonu knocks it away and goes in for the layup. It's a layup drill for Adora Ilonu.
I really enjoy Ilonu. She is such a workhorse as they turn them over again.
Oh, the swat by Chanel Makongo.
Wow.
And when you see that, you see the potential this team has.
Yeah.
But they've got to put it all together.
Here we see Ilonu's easy 2 points. She's such an important player for a team like this and anywhere really. She just works hard, solid, not many mistakes. She does play a lot for them. Really enjoy her play.
A 22-point lead for Nigeria. They're up 15 at halftime, and Ngoising catches it and scores. Well, they can break it down and make it that simple every time, they got a chance. But again, their big issue has been turning the ball over, which they've done 25 times. That is a lot with 15 minutes, 16 minutes still to play.
Really, Jeff.
Oh.
Wow, that is
that double dribble? Nope. He held the dribble, I guess. Paulina Congo. Oh, blocked by Akator, who then takes it, saves it in bounds. And Ifeibekwe finishes at the other end and also gets the foul. They called it unsportsmanlike?
Must be because that was an and one opportunity and there's nobody lining up. That's interesting. I missed the call.
Waiting to clarify that.
I told you sometimes it's hard to hit a
No, there was
free
a,
throw.
I think there must have been a technical,
Oh,
which I missed.
I missed it too. Sorry, Jeff.
She makes,
The first. Oh yeah, it was an and one. Everyone's lining back up saying, "What happened?" But remember, she made that.
she
play.
made the layup.
Yeah, she shot the
And-
technical, which is one, and then she shot her and one, which is one.
It's not clear who the technical was on. It might have been on the Congo. Now another steal by Kalu. Bounce pass. And Yengipa lays it up and in.
Pressure's back on. Yet again. They turn him over, Jeff.
So
Wonderful defense.
it was indeed a technical foul on Paulina Congo. So this thing has gotten ugly real quickly here. As you look at Kalu, bounce pass to Yengipa. Elonu with the rebound. So I don't know if they're already past the point of no return. It's a 25-point lead. Tutila goes baseline. It gets rejected. Not in my house, says Evelyn Akator. Wow.
Look at this replay.
Goodness me. With a little bit of authority on the end.
Yeah, she swatted that into the stand.
Swatted that ball in anger. Yengipa hearing some wise counsel from coach. Now another steal, turnover in midcourt, and Kalu lays it up and in. He's off to a big day today. 15 points now for Ezinni Kalu. Elonu also has 13 points.
Nigeria is just relentless with this defense. Full court trapping, full court press. Even in the court there, they are just everywhere, hands everywhere. They are making it hard for Congo to even get a look at the basket.
Pass intercepted again by Kalu. It's like Groundhog's Day. It keeps happening time and time again, over and over. Just hit, record, and play it time and time again. Kalu with the steal in midcourt. Layup.
Yeah, she definitely has great hands. She's all over the place. She's getting wonderful steals for them. Look, she's looking for another one.
And the pass intended for Chanel Makongo goes out of bounds.
Look, see her octopus hands or go-go gadget hands. She's just everywhere. Saw that replay, easy still for her. Congo want to talk about it. Yet again, timeout.
Timeout. They go to the bench, trailing by 29 points, 56-27.
On était à 14 points. Là maintenant, et quand les autres m'attaquent, on a poussé presque à 30 points. On évite de faire des pertes de balles. La perte de balles et l'équipe est mêlée. Le ballon dans l'adversaire, c'est ne pas comprendre l'équipe. Attends, vous pouvez pas comment tu sais s'il y a l'équipe. Vous pouvez pas me
This is Victoria. Evelyn, set that screen. Victoria, go back. Scoop. The guards over here. Double. Okay, double. Here we go.
The biggest stat that we saw there was 28 big turnovers and then 30 points off of those. So wonderful job by Nigeria. 28 turnovers for Congo. That is just not going to do it. And there's still over a quarter and a half to play.
Macaulay taking a difficult shot. Rebound. Congo. And jump shot is good.
Well done there by Ngoli. She's wide open. Why not take the shot? You need all sorts of offense.
Ball goes out of bounds. Off of Akator. So Nigeria right now imperious and heading towards the semifinals. Make no mistake about it.
Here she goes again. Press replay, Jeff.
And this time she hands it off to Macaulay. Playing for Nigeria for the first time this summer.
She is a pest.
So Nigeria, if they do go ahead and win this game, will face the winner of Mali, Cote d'Ivoire. And those two teams watching this must be thinking, goodness me.
And now an offensive foul. Nothing going Congo's way. And yet again, Kalu is something to do with it. She's the player of the game, Jeff. Really, really good job today. Wonderful across the board.
Well, that's what you'll have to do if you're either of those teams that are likely to face Nigeria next. You have to take her into account and figure out what are we going to do with her and how are we going to prevent her from completely dominating us.
And stealing. How many steals does she have today? She has wonderful hands, great anticipation. She's probably had like
five.
I was going to say 4.
I'm glad you asked that question.
Yeah.
$15 steals as a team, Nigeria. Elonu also has 3 steals. Alina Congo tries. No avail, and Macaulay over to Azine Kalu. And her pass, not sure where that was supposed to go. Here she is, thinking about taking a three. She does, and Promise Amukamara.
Amukamara. It's one of my favorite names to say.
Which one, Promise or Amukamara? And now a foul. Akator will go to the line. Your favorite yesterday was Jedidi. Jedidi from
Egypt.
Egypt, yeah.
You get to say it again.
I think you also like Bakar. Bakar, that's it.
Yeah, I like Bakar. You can roll your tongues on that one.
But that was Tunisia.
Oh, sadly.
Akator off target with the first one. Played college basketball at Kentucky. She was one of the standout players last year at the World Cup. Tenerife. And Kalu now called for a foul guarding Paulina Congo. (59-29). It has been a third quarter horror show for the Congolese. They've been outscored 21-6 in this frame.
That's Kalu's third foul.
Now the dump. Fatila or Luganza. Over to Fatila. She misses everything, and it goes off of Paulina Congo and out of bounds with 1:30 remaining here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Nigeria's done such a good job today, really speeding Congo up. They're even taking their jump shots and their layups so quickly, and not relaxing. So hats off to Nigeria for really dominating on the defensive end.
Kalu just comes out of the game. Got that look of, that's right, you're taking me out because you know I was going to get another 5 steals, 5 layups.
And not because she was going to foul out, eh?
Exactly. Eveline Akator and Goisa guarding her. So Kalu on the bench with the 3 fouls, the 17 points, the 5 steals, the plus 18 efficiency, which is the highest in the contest.
That was a foul on Ndikwe, number 52, Nigeria. Her third foul now, both teams in the bonus.
And the first one is missed. With Otis Cooley Jr., I mean, it's kind of like Nigeria has hit a gold mine. Look at Amukamara. I mean, a coach, you could say a coach can only be as good as his players, but Nigeria, I think, have always had really good players. And yes, they have had wins before, but I dare say they've never been so dominant. And the way he distinguished himself last year in Tenerife at the World Cup, and you can see how tenacious and organized they are and relentless in his constant coaching. You know, he was a longtime high school coach. He was an assistant coach with the Sacramento Kings as well. And he coached Chinese Taipei for a while at the FIBA Asia Women's Cups. So, you know, he had experience at that level, and yet, I mean, you could argue, hands down, he's the best coach here.
He is. He definitely has his team prepared.
And maybe the most unheralded of all coaches in international basketball, really.
Lots of accolades under his belt. I like the word tenacious describing Nigeria. Definitely, that is exactly what they are. They're never giving up. They're always, you know, they're on defense, on offense, on job. Coach, there he is, doing a fist bump, just hitting a free throw. He is always, like you said, involved, calling the plays, very active on the sidelines there. So, and he has his team ready and prepared.
So that's how the third quarter finishes. Nigeria with a firm grip on proceeding 61-32. 10 minutes remaining before they clinch their spot in the semifinals of the FIBA Women's Afrobasket 2019 here in Dakar.
Fin de troisième quart-temps, Nigeria 61, République démocratique du Congo 32. Nous aurons tout à l'heure à 14h le Mozambique contre l'Égypte.
Well, these stats here will be all about Nigeria. 23 from 48 shooting, 48% from 2, 2 from 14 from the three-point line, and then Congo only shooting three pointers, and then they're actually shooting well from the 2-point, but only shooting 19 shots. So here you see Nigerians fans loving seeing their team doing well on all aspects of the game. Defense is definitely keeping them above water, way ahead of Congo, frustrating them, making them turn over the ball. Here, as you see, Elenu with an easy layup. Between Elenu and Kalu, they're really a 1-2 punch, stealing the ball. Kalu has 5 steals and Elenu with 3, really making it difficult for Congo. So last quarter here as we go in for the last bit of Nigerian basketball.
Well, you know, we were talking about Otis Hewley Jr., and he actually grew up in New York. And I just remembered it was last year at the World Cup that during the World Cup, his family back home in Georgia was involved in a car crash. And his wife had suffered some injuries. And he had to deal with that distraction while at the same time coaching the team. And I mean, from what I know, everything ended up being okay, but it's certainly been quite an adventure for him in coaching, and also, and that's the thing. I mean, your lives go on.
Yeah.
You know, your husband right now trying to make it in the NFL back in America, and my family's back. You know, we all work and we all have distractions back at home, and he had to keep his eye on the ball. That must have been pretty tough last year. Here's the drive in the basket from Congo to cut into that huge deficit.
Yeah, true testament to the Nigerian coach of his hard work and his dedication to his team. Careful, doesn't pick up a fourth here early in the last quarter.
Congo a little bit sharper on offense, coming out of the timeout.
Nice little high
coming out of the change
there.
of quarter, yeah.
Well, you are fighting for. Well, actually, you do go into the top 6.
Yeah, you got to try to get into the top 6 so you can be invited to the pre-qualifiers for the Olympics. And 2 teams will come out of the pre-qualifiers to go to the qualifiers. Good strong rebound that time by Evelyn Akator. Oh, beautiful hustle. Macaulay saw her sprinting from midcourt. Well, Congo can definitely be dangerous even in a classification game, and nobody will be looking past them. Even in today's game, while being blown out, they have shown flashes of good play. So
yeah, and also for them in the long run, they are trying to do one better than the 9th position that they finished in the last Afrobasket. So they're on the way to doing that. Just baby steps in the goals.
Muganza taking on Akator.
3.5 seconds left on the clock here. Could have been a foul, but good hustle. Get the ball back. Mohammed checks back in here. 3.5, they've got to get something at the rim.
Kalu back in the game. Misses offensive rebound. Put back by Mohammed.
Nobody was even around her then, Jeff. She had all the time in the world to miss and get the rebound again.
Well, that was the right decision, and in making that right decision, not only does she get 2 points, but Betty Kalanga will also go to the free throw line. Nice hang time.
And that slow motion definitely floated through the air here as we see Hamilton Nixon put back. Well, I must admit Nigeria does have a plethora of offense.
Oh, that's good.
I've definitely seen lots of different plays being called for them. With McCauley goes strong to the basket.
You think they have a bevy of options? A multitude?
Yeah, a multitude. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Definitely, I've seen at least 10 plays, different plays being called today.
Hard to believe that Macaulay was not a part of this program before at 29 years of age. And I know, having read about her in the media, some of the news coverage of her joining Nigeria, that her parents were both from Nigeria. She grew up in America, and when she went to training camp to try to make the team, her father went over to kind of get her acclimatized, help her get acclimatized. But she says she loves the food. She says she'll probably put on some weight, but it'll be good weight. Look at this, free throws, 12 of 17, Nigeria. That's the line. And Democratic Republic of the Congo, again, nothing like yesterday when it seemed like everything they put up the free throw line was going in. I think they ended up shooting 75%, but at one stage yesterday they were up in the 90s.
Yeah, they were.
Here's Macaulay on the break, and Mohammed couldn't grasp it, couldn't hold on to it.
Elenu with another steal. She must be at 4. Elenu and
Yeah.
Kalu.
Adora, I go by first names.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I think she's got 4 steals, and Kalu has 5.
And shot clock violation. Well done, Nigeria. She hangs her head here and laughs because she didn't even realize it. And that's the thing. You have to be aware of the time on the clock.
You know, when these girls get together and play over the summer, I mean, when you talk about the pluses of this, what would be the big pluses for you for these African players here joining together and coming to an Afrobasket? Nice shot on the baseline.
And I mean, it's good to get as much time together with your national team, as many tournaments or as many games as you can play. It's always best to, you know, have that kind of mold and that, what's the word I'm looking for, Jeff?
Bond, chemistry.
Thank you. Right on cue.
And just in terms of as individuals, because I know there's a,
Well,
you know,
it's
you
good to
can't,
play in the summer as well.
yeah, you can't take too much time off, can you?
No.
If you're going to be a professional, you got to play.
Right. Even when I was playing professionally, Jeff, 1 day off, the second day back, I felt like I was out of shape. Because your fitness does leave you very, very quickly.
Well, maybe that's is
It's
that because of what you eat? Here's the
No. Oh, maybe.
foul on Congo there. This was Macaulay. Look, she stepped back. We've seen her do that before this tournament. She has a really soft touch. So Maganza has 3 fouls. That's Macaulay going over to the bench. Take a breather. Mosbio, Amukamara, Agoke, Mohammed, all in the game right now with Kalu. And that's about as fast as the lineup as you're going to see for Nigeria. Look at the beautiful pass over to Agoke, who drills a 3. I mean, this is probably a nightmare scenario for some teams to face this type of Nigerian lineup.
Yeah, it's tough because you get past the first 5 and then they sub in their second 5 and they're just as athletic, just as hardworking, and they're still pressing. So there's no...
But he's keeping right now Amukamara, who goes in, hands it off to Mohammed. Agoke and Kalu on the floor at the same time. So that's a mean 3-guard lineup, isn't it?
Very nice lineup. A little
Quick.
bit smaller, but yeah, quicker.
Do you think he's experimenting with that right now? And the trip and unsportsmanlike foul.
Yeah, at this stage, like I said, they'll obviously go on as the trip happens here. They'll go on and play a much difficult team in the semi-finals, so why not try different combinations? Like I said, he's playing lots of different players, defenses, full court presses, half court. You throw it all in to make sure your girls know what's happening, what's going on. That was a unsportsmanlike trip, so she gets a free trip to the line.
Well, I think any trip is going to be unsportsmanlike. So
going back to what you were saying about playing in the summer, Jeff, some people really like it and others don't because it is a long season. You know, a lot of wear and tear on your body. You're hearing in the news some top USA players not going, but obviously it depends on each player.
yeah, but you could get injured anyway. I mean, the bottom line is you got to stay in shape. You need to have some competition.
Yeah, and these tournaments are awesome to stay in shape because there's no other way to get into shape than playing basketball.
Mohammed did a great job of holding position and scoring. Yeah, I mean, you can roll your ankle stepping out of bed like me. So
yeah, I've definitely done that walking on the street.
and you can also get a black eye or any type of injury playing a pickup game.
Yeah, or by me, an elbow sitting next to me, Jeff. Careful.
Exactly, you swing those elbows, no problem. But yeah, I would think the advantages would be, you know, when you're aiming towards something, you're trying to get that, obviously, that second title in a row. If you're like Nwaji or you are Macaulay getting that first taste of the national team, that connection with Nigeria, and your parents come from the country or your ancestors. I mean, this is a wonderful occasion to be able to represent the homeland. And then you have, you know, are you building towards the World Cup? Are you building towards an Olympic Games?
Yeah, the Olympics is only a year away, so you need all the opportunities you can to play together, because there's not many opportunities to do so, especially with a long season coming up for most of these players. So these tournaments are very important, or any time you can get together to play.
Good defense, sneaking in there for the steal. And I think also there's quite a bit I would suggest that you could learn, not only from the likes of Coach Hewley and your friend Muda, the former national team player, who's now an assistant coach, but also some of the veterans out there. You know, they can impart some wisdom, especially to the younger ones. And I mean, to come to a country like Senegal, for example, this is probably going to be the first trip for a lot of these players. And you get to, I mean, there's nothing like traveling, is there, to be in education, see the world.
Yeah,
so many positives to be had from actually playing in these international competitions.
Yeah, basketball, lovely move there. Unfortunately, can't finish. Yeah, basketball's really enabled me to really travel the world. Here I am in Senegal for the first time. And you know, that's part of the sport. I love that about basketball, that you can really go around the world, as there's a tough screen there.
Ball bounces off the top of the backboard. And you know, part of me thinks with this Nigeria team, I'm going to be surprised if they don't win it. They're going to be in hostile territory, probably facing Senegal, you would think. If not Senegal, Mali, it's going to be a tough game. I'm guessing we're headed towards Senegal-Nigeria showdown.
Yeah, but last Afrobasket, Nigeria had a tough one against Mali. They only beat them by 1
point?
Yeah. So never say never, but they are looking much better than that 2017 team.
So this is why, with 2 minutes left in the game, Hewlett's coaching over there like the score is 0-0, because he wants to see execution. He wants to see players going to the right spots, making the right plays, and also, you know, as they move forward and they go to the pre-qualifiers and then the qualifiers for the Olympics, his team needs to be executing the game plan if they're going to beat the really good teams and make it to the Olympics.
Yeah, once you get past the Afrobasket and play some of those European teams, USA, Australia, she ties up the ball there. Good job from both of our players. Once you get out of this tournament, the basketball really steps up a notch, becomes even more difficult, and a lot of teams that match up well against Nigeria, you'll have teams that have a great bench and they'll find it difficult.
Robeleza misses. Robeleza again. Good box out from Adebaroka. Able to get out of it. Waji has it mid-court. Passes over to Agoke, who gets it to Amukamara. Back to Nwaji. She's open. She looks at her feet. Off the rim. And good job, Agoke, batting it out to Amukamara. Boy, she showed some promise on that move, but then didn't finish. Nevertheless, was fouled, so she goes to the line.
Yeah, great head fake here. Gets the defender up and out. There she goes to the rim. Last minute here of this game. Nigeria's done a wonderful job on both ends. I'm really impressed. They've added on to their last great win, putting up 106 points.
What's going through their minds right now? Akator, Ifekwe, sitting there checking out the into the game. Look at that. Are they saying we got to play better? We got to finish strong here the final minute. Bounce pass. Swat. And Goke pulls back. Well, bear in mind, with this performance, they are 40 seconds away from not only sealing a spot in the semifinals, but in the pre-qualifiers for the Olympics. So that's huge. Congratulations to go out to Nigeria. Okay, we all expected them to, but nevertheless, you got to do it, and they're doing it.
And they do play, am I correct that they do play Mali in the semifinal?
They do indeed. If they win, they play Mali or
that's another
Cote d'Ivoire. So Mali, Cote d'Ivoire play today at 4:30. So I dare say we'll see some green shirts in the stands watching that game.
Yeah, I no doubt I'm going to say another Mali-Nigeria matchup. But hey, everyone's got to play and win. But going ahead, they've got to get ready for Mali again.
Another chance for Goki. Quick pass up ahead to Nwaji. That's the layup.
Shot it with her right hand on the left-hand side, right?
You're right. And foul.
Definitely a skill you need to keep working on throughout your career. You know, shooting with your left hand on the left-hand side of the basket, and one gets comfortable using the right.
FIBA at the line, you saw Hewley clapping his hands over at his players and saying, "We're not done yet. We're not done." We'll have a quick team talk. He says, we'll hop on the bus and we'll go back and eat. And we'll get ready for tomorrow. Well, it wasn't the game that Congo wanted to play or experience, but at least they made it this far. They will not be advancing to the semifinals. That honor is bestowed upon Nigeria, the Tigress. Made it look easy. They win it 79-46. They march into the last four where they will play Mali or Cote d'Ivoire. Remember, the defending champions, Nigeria, have just clinched the spot in the pre-qualifiers for the Olympic Games. Well, Zina Kalu and Nigeria were far too much today for the Democratic Republic of Congo. The pressure defense really turned it up a notch and really just kind of dominated, forcing 34 turnovers and scoring a bunch of points off those turnovers. They ended up getting 35 of their 79 points off of turnovers. And Azani, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Stats pull up, perfect timing. You know, only shooting 58%, 18 from the 31 two-pointers is not going to cut it for Congo. Really struggled, but really was difficult against Nigeria's press. Nigeria had 36 rebounds and really the steals, 18 steals is a big deal for them. You know, really putting the pressure. Congo had no answer. Turnovers, 34. That is the game there for Congo. Big players. Kalu was all over the stat sheet from steals, from scoring, shooting threes. She had a wonderful game. Congo and Macarius really doing well. It's the only offense Congo really got. There you see Kalu with 5 steals, and Elenu should have had more than that. I had her down for maybe 3 or 4, but both of those two were a really good combination. Nigeria should feel happy, proud of themselves as they go over to their fans. Thank them for coming out and supporting them. Really good win for them as they move on to the semi-finals.
Well, Nigeria will be taking a team photo after this resounding win, and we look back at some of the plays. Not many good ones really from Congo, but a lot for Nigeria, who remain unbeaten. Their third win, of course, they won both of their games in the group phase, so they went straight to the quarterfinals, and they improved to 3-0. Congo, meanwhile, having lost both of their games in the group phase before winning against Cape Verde, they dropped to 1-3. However, they can rebound with a win in the classification round. If they do that, they will get a trip to the pre-qualifiers for the Olympic Games. Azina Kalu in Nigeria, I mean, there's no secret to how they're blowing these teams out. Their long arm pressure, their activity, their defense, and their ability to rebound is just a royal pain, and it's relentless. Azania, I don't see how any team right now can cope with all of that pressure, with the exception, I suppose, from the semifinals on. That's when their tournament is going to start.
Yeah, definitely. They'll play against better teams that can handle that press. But truly, that is where they get a lot of their points from. Their first quarter, they're kind of struggling against that zone. But you know what? They turned it up defensively. They turned over Congo. They trapped them. They got their hands. They have these go-go gadget arm hands getting through passing lanes. And that's how they got quick transition, easy baskets. I think a lot of these teams, whoever they play, is going to struggle against their press.
Well, huge game for Nigeria, and again, going through the numbers, three players hit double digits. Kalu had 17 points, 14 points by Victoria Macaulay, and 11 for Adora Elonu. It was just sheer domination. It was the first quarterfinal of the day. Here are the next ones. We're going to watch Mozambique take on Egypt next, followed by Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, and then Senegal against Angola. Put on your dancing shoes for that one. (79-46), one last time, Nigeria winning over the Democratic Republic of Congo at the FIBA Women's Afrobasket here in Senegal. More action coming your way today. Thanks for watching.